and welcome to the YouTube channel of Luxury Promise. This is our first video and we have the owner, founder and CEO of Luxury Promise. So why don't you introduce yourself and share a bit about the company?
So I'm Sabrina Sadiq and I'm the CEO of Luxury Promise. If you don't know what Luxury Promise is, we buy, sell and exchange pre-loved luxury goods, and we sell via live show streaming most of the times.
You're the first to do that, weren't you?
We are, which is very exciting.
Okay, so let's get into the questions. I'm going to quick fire some questions for Sabrina. She doesn't know what they are, so we're going to get your first reaction. So, First question. I wanted to know, I think it'd be really helpful for the viewers because you're so successful. You've done it all on your own. You've done it as a woman. You love to employ women. So what do you think is the most insightful lesson you have learned from being a business owner?
God, that's a good one to start with. I think the insightful thing that I probably learned is find people that share your vision and your dream. And when you're building out a company, so I think you first have the dream, but then you have to find the team that really have that passion and that drive to help you succeed, and doing it as a tribe. And I think often people think of doing it alone, but I think it's about finding your tribe and helping them and helping you get to that.
That's interesting. I don't think you were going to say that. But what's interesting about that, I love reading books about, famous entrepreneurs, and they always say you can't do it alone.
No.
So you've basically answered that.
Yeah.
I was going to say that.
Yeah.
So key message is you can't do it alone. You do need other people, basically.
Yeah, I think there's a big illusion of like, you're superwoman, you can do it. You really need a big support network for everything that you do. And whether it's support from a family or from a husband or from your friends.
That's true. And one thing I know from working with you, Sabrina knows what she's good at. And when you're not good at something, you just go and find the best person in London, in the UK that does it. Yeah. And you're like, I can't do that. They're good at that. Let's bring them in.
Exactly. It's like
I didn't think I'd say that, but it does make sense. Okay, second question. What advice do you have for someone wanting to start a business?
I think don't overthink it, just do it, because you will always make mistakes, even if you think you have it perfect. So make the mistakes, learn from it, and use that to get to the next step.
That's good advice, actually, because I'd always say about you, you're a risk taker, and sometimes the most awful things go wrong. Me and the other girls in the team are having a breakdown, and she's like, okay, why don't we do this? And I think that's actually a really strong point for you. I need to learn more of that from you. Question 3. What aspect of creating Luxury Promise took you most by surprise? It can be a positive or a negative. Something that you didn't expect.
What did I expect? God, I think every day sometimes you don't expect it, and then it happens, you're like, oh, that happened. And but then in some way you expect that to happen. That makes sense. I think for me, probably what's taken me as a surprise is in some way actually doing it, getting it done. You're like, oh my God, I dreamt of that and we're doing it. Yeah. Sometimes I'm like, is this real? The stuff that we do, sometimes I'm like, wow. And then sometimes you walk with me across the road and be like, wow, Sabrina,
there's a bus with your face on it.
Yeah, we're like, what?
We do have moments like that, or people who come up the street and say, oh, you're Sabrina. But I think that is another good key message, that you need to manifest, you need to dream of the things you want to do, imagine it, see it, and then when you do it, you're like, wow.
Because it is all a big dream at the beginning, right? When you're thinking, we're going to do this and we're going to take over the world, and you're like, it's a big dream, and everyone else will be like, oh, here she goes again. But then you do it and you're like, oh my God, we did it.
Yeah, that is true. Question number 4. What's the secret to running a successful business? I'm very intrigued by what you're going to say.
I don't know if it's successful yet, because I still feel like there's so much more to do.
That's true. Business owner that's doing super well.
I think there's still more I need to do.
It could be £100 billion company, and you'd say there's still more to do. There's still more bags to buy.
I don't know if there is any secret sauce, to be honest. I think it's always trying to be better and not thinking you're the best.
Not dropping the ball.
Yeah.
Being humble. Yeah, I think, again, that's really good advice. This is why you've done so well. She does have the best advice. I think you're going to learn a lot from this video. It's so true, everything you're saying. You never should think that we're the best. The moment that you're like that, then...
Yeah, you always have to learn. When you say something, I'm like, yeah, you're right. We need to correct that. We need to do this.
Yeah.
But we're all learning. And
I've learned that from you, actually, that when someone says something where I was wrong, I'll find myself saying, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
And that is something that you say all the time. Yeah, you're right, let's fix it.
But most of the time I think I'm right.
No, I don't think you're right. Number 5. What advice do you have for anyone that's trying to scale a business? Because I feel like to run a business steadily, doing well, it's easily achievable to some extent, but scaling to that next level, it's very, very hard.
Yeah, I think
You've done that.
Yeah, we're still learning into doing it. I think really understanding your product, understanding your market, and taking that understanding and scaling it. Because I think what people do is they don't really fully understand their own markets.
Mm-hmm.
And if you know your customer, you know your product,
You have to know every aspect of the business.
find
basically.
your formula and replicate it 100 times. Don't try and do things
That's
a
good.
lot.
That's good advice. So you nail what you're doing, you
Yeah.
nail your niche, and you perfect it
Exactly.
over and over and over that formula. That's really good advice. And be passionate, be skillful,
Exactly.
be knowledgeable, know your market, know your product. It's simple, really, when you think about it.
So we're still learning.
What advice do you have regarding investment or bringing on investors? Because I think this is such a difficult one, and you're really experienced in this.
There's one quote that I have sticks in my head and I never forget is, unfortunately, to make money you need money. There's no other formula to do it. It is what
She'll
it is.
say, you need money to make money, right?
Yeah. You can't do it. Without a vision and without the money to back that up is one. And the second thing is, when you bring investment, it's actually bringing people that actually set, it's a verification, it's that little blue tick to say, your idea is,
we believe
in it. And actually, you're not just so crazy, we actually believe your crazy idea.
And what about pressure? Do you think it's added pressure?
It is pressure, but sometimes you need somebody behind. It depends on your personality. Some people crack under pressure and some people perform really well under pressure. If you feel like you're somebody who can be like pushed all the time, then you take.
Do you think that's part of the scaling?
You bring in the correct investors is number one. You don't just get anybody's money. Get people's money in that will help you scale your business.
Like mentors.
Yeah, that will teach you, learn. Maybe they've done it before. They've done it with when you get our investors in, they've done it with several investors, so they will take their learnings and bring that and say, well, this is the way we've learned from other companies, and you can apply that to your business.
And do you think you can do it without investment?
It really depends on what your goal is. That's the key thing. Do you want to build a business which becomes profitable? And if it can become clearly profitable, then don't take investment and you have a long generational business that makes you money. Or do you want to build a company that enters into new markets and you want a big, something that will actually change the way an industry is set? Then you kind of need to take investment if you want to enter into new markets.
That makes sense. Number 7, this is hard. Advice hiring staff. You kind of answered that how find the right people, passionate people.
Yeah, I think when you're hiring team members in, you have to always remember that everybody's on their own journey as well. And my journey as an entrepreneur might be very different from the people that come and work with me. So some people may come and say, I'll be employed with a company for 3 years, I'll take their learnings and I'll apply that learning to somewhere else and move on. So you have to know what you're getting into and understand the difference in personalities. Yeah, and what their long-term goal is. So making sure, bringing in people that are really happy to be there, they're bringing the skill set in, hire the right people. Sometimes they say if you don't hire the right skill into your company, actually that's a bad problem, leaving that skill set empty. Mm-hmm. So bringing in those right people. I don't know if anyone could ever give you raw advice, is one, follow people in that can bring in the skill that's missing and follow your gut instinct. And of course, sometimes some people's, when they're with you, their time expires because actually it's time for them to move on to their next journey as well.
That makes sense, that's good advice. Last question, anything you'd like to add about being a CEO, anything about Luxury Promise, anything that you'll help the viewers in building their business? What would you like to have been told when you started?
Oh God, really, I don't even know. It's a dedication. Be prepared. I think if anyone's setting up their business, it's like, be prepared to dedicate your time and your life to it. And there is a sacrifice, and there's no such thing as work-life balance. And sometimes I hear podcasts and I listen to people and they're like, read these 5 books and they'll give you the tips on how to run a business. Honestly, you don't have time to read 5 books.
No.
You learn on the go, you learn on the job, And if you have a time to read a full book, then you're clearly not utilising your time properly.
That's harsh, but I agree.
You've got to find something to do in the company.
Because there's always something to do. But I find that having your own business, there's no balance, like you said. There's so much pressure, 7 days a week. But there are really good positives to that you can do things with your own time. You're your own boss. I think there's a balance in that.
Yeah, I think learn from the people around you, learn from your mistakes, bring in the right team members,
accept you're going to have mistakes.
Exactly. And you will make mistakes bringing in team members as well. And that's okay, because that's the person that was in the journey to teach you something then. And maybe they were part of that journey for that business when it was at that point of level of that company. So I think that everything is a life lesson. And I think if you want to do something, you just do it. It may be successful, it may not be successful. We don't know. You may have success for a short period, you may not have that success after. So it's one of those things.
Keep ploughing. And I think another thing, which I'm surprised you haven't touched on, but I think that people that are humble and super kind, like naturally, it's just a given. So actually, I'm not surprised, because I have worked with you for over 10 years. You've got such a good reputation when it comes to just being bubbly and who you are. It doesn't matter. I think this is a really important skill as well. That it doesn't matter who you're in front of, whether it's a CEO or an intern, you're always the same person.
Yeah.
And I think that is something that's carried you through. Yeah. So maybe something that you don't notice, but I do. But I think as well, people that are really kind don't say, I'm so kind. But I think it is really important that you don't trample on people. You're really close with your competitors. That's how we started being friends. Don't see them as competition. You want to all work together. So I think all these things have really carried you through as well.
Yeah. Just being true to yourself. And competition is good.
Yeah,
it actually gets you going.
It's what you're fighting for.
Yeah.
So I wanted to keep that pretty quick. That's just touching upon what Luxury Promise is, what we're going to bring to you on this channel. Please feel free to leave any comments. I'm sure we can note all the questions and answer them in another video. We'll be doing one video a week. We'll put in the description box what time and what day of the week it will be. It's going to be educational videos from Sabrina. If you'd like to talk to the staff, we have a really amazing team.
The team.
So we can bring in like the logistics, the buyers. There's any aspect of a luxury fashion business. Please let us know in the comments. We'll put together some videos for you. We're filming some more videos this week, aren't we, about investment bags, how to build a luxury collection. So this is the start of your YouTube channel.
So exciting. And I'm with Claire doing it. How exciting is that? Claire's the one who's like, and then another tip, get somebody who's going to push you at the back, like, right, I know you can't talk to me right now. I know she's like, oh, I'm eating. She goes, okay, good, you're eating.
I can get you on the phone now.
That means you've got time to talk to me right now. We're going to do the YouTube channel. Like, okay, we're doing it. And here we are.
Literally 2 days later.
Literally.
So I'm excited. Do subscribe. Like Sabrina is here. She's been doing this for over 20 years?
Yeah. Well, oh my God, over 15 years.
Over 15 years.
Yes.
She runs a very successful global luxury fashion business. Like, she's here to give you free advice all on this channel. So please feel free to answer the questions, and we'll look forward to seeing you in the next video.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.